Welcome to a brand new series, Four-Wheel Drive, Take a Deep Breath, where I'm going to play with and explore the reasons why so many people just absolutely love their four-wheel drives. Four-wheel drive is actually a lifestyle. Yeah, it's a machine, but it's actually a lifestyle. And what I'm going to do over the next 13 programs is share some of that lifestyle with you. Welcome to Four-Wheel Drive, Take a Deep Breath. You find me in Mozambique. Behind me is Inyaka Island. And this stretch of water here is called Hell's Gate, better known as the Gap, the area between the mainland and Inyaka Island. It's taken us quite some getting here. The terrain through which we've driven has been spectacular. We've met some really interesting people doing some amazing things. So I welcome you on our journey. The Indian Ocean, warm water, memorable sunrises, uncrowded beaches, and fish. Lots of fish. We are at a small resort, Ponta, Malongane, just 20 kilometers north of Mozambique's most southern border crossing with South Africa, and we're traveling north as far as the road will take us. I am travelling using my own truck, a Toyota Land Cruiser 105 series wagon, in convoy with my good friend John Rich, driving his Mitsubishi Triton 2.5 turbo diesel. And with me, my good friend and cameraman, Steve Searle. Malongane is a busy place. A bunch of diving instructors working with students alongside men and women playing with strange equipment. This is a stereoscopic camera used for documenting life on the reef. And this young man is a professor of oceanography, believe it or not. And this is his project.
But you're such a lousy photographer that you need two cameras to capture everything, just in case the one's blurred.
Just in case one doesn't work, yeah.
So when did you photograph that?
This was taken on Saturday. We went to Pinnacles, one of the deeper reefs. It's normally for shark dives.
Right.
And amongst all, we found the moray eel on the reef together with some lionfish.
That's right off the coast here.
Right off the coast.
Would you say that Malongane was a prime dive spot?
Very much so, yes. You've got a lot of fish life here. For those that love coral, there's coral reefs as well, but fish life is in abundance here.
Right.
It really is.
Okay. Oh wow. Potato bass.
Potato bass in the process of turning. This very same potato bass, it came swimming up to me and I scratched it under its chin. Went around, came back and I rubbed it under its chin again. Swam with me for about 15 minutes and then it left.
It's a beautiful reef. We're going to sit right next to it on top. We're just going to have a look at it for a couple of minutes, just calm you guys down, breathe deeply and slowly, and just do the skills as quickly as possible, go through them, get them over with and just enjoy the rest of the dive. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah! Good stuff. Okay. Sit.
I'm not going to be able to join them, unfortunately. It sounds so wonderful. Because I've never done this before. I've never been scuba. In fact, this wetsuit, I've never put on an enormous prophylactic before. It feels very odd, but I really wish I was going with them. But we will go out on the boat and at least have a look at some of what they're doing. During the launch through the breakers, the boat captain will say just two words, "Hold on," and he ain't kidding. On our boat are the researchers, and on the other, the students. What's your name?
Kane.
Kane who?
DeLacy.
From Australia?
From Australia.
Now, tell me what you're doing here.
Well, we're here to start a research program here at Malongane for a long-term monitoring program. So at the moment we know little of the reef fish assemblages here and also the coral cover. Basically it's important for us to understand these reefs. Currently Mozambique and the whole East African coast has not seen a lot of research. There's not a lot of international research coming here. The universities here are doing a great job. But the problem they have mainly is the illegal fishing from other countries coming in and poaching their waters. So we need to raise the profile of these East African reefs, and in turn get the money over here so we can start funding proper patrolling and management of their reef systems, and have the Mozambiques, the Kenyans and Tanzanians having their own stake in what they have out here. And that's pretty much the ultimate goal would be to have that, stop illegal fishing. So at the moment we're doing a baseline study where we're using the stereo video equipment to obtain information on diversity, abundance, and also lengths of the fishes. So this enables anyone to be able to use the video equipment and analyze it back in the computer lab to get all those metrics for length, abundance, and diversity.
Now obviously you've got a couple of researchers, but you've also got a couple of young people that are learning how does it all work?
Well, we basically get students coming over, either qualified or wanting to learn to dive. They basically come over for a week to do their open water ticket. They get to learn to scuba dive, and then following that they can do a reef ecology course, which is a series of lectures. And then they understand basics of coral, fish, algae, and the assemblage under the water.
Right.
And then they can come onto my team and start doing the research. So they can be part of the actual underwater team, collecting the data on site and then analysing it later on.
Now you're starting on Malongane, but you're moving further north.
We hope to establish Malongane as the base and then run a project all the way up through to perhaps Kenya in the future. Yeah.
Kenya.
Kenya.
That's how long is that project? That seems huge.
We would like to do it with over 1 year, but it might take a couple of years.
1 year.
If we can do it in a year, that would be
all the way up to Kenya.
Yeah.
Wow, that's something.
Yeah. Yes.
So research aside, if I was watching this program on telly and I thought, gee, I'd like to do that, what would I do to get involved?
To get involved, you probably just come up to Malongane, and then potentially they can come up and sign up through that.
Simple as that.
As simple as that. Probably. Yeah.
Fantastic. It's brilliant. I think it's absolutely fantastic that we stumbled upon you guys. It looks like a brilliant thing to get involved in. It really.
Yeah, it's really fun. We have a good time out here, and the kids really enjoy it. And they get more worth out of just doing an open water scuba.
Yeah, doing it for a reason.
Yeah, doing it for a reason.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
No problem.
You know, I really think I could get into scuba. I'm not sure about the boats. I'm not crazy about boats, because sitting around with boats makes you sick. And that is why I'm now in the water. Everybody else is in the water. I was on the boat being thrown up and down. Now in the water. It's absolutely magic. I'm pretty sure I'm going to take this up. See ya. We've left Ponta, Malongane, and heading up north. As we go north, the bushes, the jungle closes in on one, and we're traveling now through this tunnel inside the Maputo Elephant Reserve. I know that the elephant in the area are very jittery, even from 20 more years ago, when during the Civil War, huge numbers of them were shot. And so, apparently still, if they see people, they are very aggressive. Oh, don't blame them. The gap is famous for the currents. The tide comes in and fills the Bay of Maputo, and then goes out again. The currents are incredible, and through that gap, the deep water and currents bring with it kingfish, all kinds of game fish. So hopefully we're going to be able to get to the gap. We're not sure what we're going to find when we get there. I understand it's difficult to get to the gap. I'm not sure if you need to take a boat to actually get to the gap. It's all very, very unclear. There's very, very little written about it.
These footprints are fresh.
Fresh what?
Elephant.
Elephant?
Yeah. Have a look there, yes. There's another one there.
Yes. Look at that.
Look.
Yeah.
Because in sand, I mean,
yeah.
This is not more than
But a vehicle
10.
But a vehicle has driven over them.
No, that was me.
Oh,
I
that was
stopped.
you. Did you
I
reverse?
stopped. I reversed back because. Have a look here. Have a look here. He's come out the bush here.
I smelt them. No.
Did you?
Yeah.
They could be just around the corner.
You want to go in front?
No.
I saw the one.
I'm going to keep a little bit of a distance from you in case you need to swing it in reverse.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll film the carnage.
Moving very slowly and keeping especially vigilant, we continue northward. Mozambique is a land of contrasts. Lying in amongst pretty coloured villages are the remnants of war. One day this was a thriving trading post. Today, just a reminder of what self-centered politicians are capable of. Ponta is already half an hour behind us, very thick sand tracks, slow going, and we're coming into the Maputo Elephant Reserve. And here is the sign. And this sign is nothing special apart from this, which I rather like. This is a place called Dubela, and they say no camping at Dubela, and there's a reason why. Again, you must look at the sign to get an idea of why you mustn't camp at Dubela. Eyes there, and I think we should give it a surprised look on its face. There you go. We won't deface it too much. So this lump of steel parked next to the road, and when we were driving towards it, we were guessing of what it might be. And some of the suggestions were something made from an old Russian tank. Turns out, I think it's a boat made of corrugated iron. Now, how's that for improvisation? Oh, fish eagle. Oh, right there. Tell me you got that. Did you get it fishing? You did. Steve nodding. He got it.
You know what it cost us to organise that fishing?
Now, I worked in the Okavango, and we used to do that every morning, and he didn't, and we actually fed the fish eagle bits of steak, and the people paid a lot of money to witness that, and it happened right in front of us. We didn't organise it, promise we didn't organise it. It just happened. With the light fading, we near our overnight stop at Milangbangalala. I advise not asking directions to Milangbangalala while chewing on a marshmallow.
The lads camped under the tree. And the other boat, what that made of aluminium or
Corrugated iron.
Corrugated iron.
Yeah.
Okay.
And tar.
And tar.
To seal the edges, yeah, and
Okay.
wooden sticks.
This one looks a little bit more modern. You see they caught some fish there. Got on the braai. Maybe we should get one for Andrew.
It's quite eerie, this, because as we are driving, we're surrounded by fire. There are sparks falling around us. This is quite common practice in Africa. The locals set fire to the bush for two reasons, the most common of which is the fire promotes new growth, new shoots for their livestock. And the second and more disturbing reason is that poachers use fire to flush out the game. Well, it's pretty near pitch black now. I see we've come into what looks like a camping site. I wonder if this is it with some other tents. This is the beach at Milangbangalala. It's been quite a drive to get here, but a beautiful drive to get here. The campsite, like most of them, is nestled behind the first line of dunes, protected from the wind, protected from the harsh sun. We're here out of school holidays. I find 2 or 3 other people on the beach, just a family down there, and nobody else. And I can see 10 kilometers of beach. During the school holidays in South Africa and here in Mozambique, many of these beaches can get very busy, particularly down south. If you want solitude, even during those seasons, you have to come further north. You have to extend. You have to stay in the campsite like we are staying at, where there are no facilities, no water. You have to bring all your own stuff. but the rewards are absolutely magnificent. There is virtually nobody here. We virtually have the entire place to ourselves. And what a place to be. We're here in midwinter. The water is warm. I mean really warm.
This is absolutely awesome. It looks so unassuming. You look at the sea here and you think it's rough and that, but tell you, about 5 meters off from this rock here, it's just teeming with fish. The water's 23 degrees. It's absolutely awesome. The sea life here, I mean, and you would never think that it's like that out there. There's a rip running this way, we jump in the water over there, and the rip just float with the rip and then come out on the side and walk up the beach again. I could spend the whole day here. There's some cowrie shells, and these we found about 5 meters offshore, and this is a particular type of shell. Where's this one from?
Yeah, that's what they call that
shell.
I don't think I've ever got excited about a tent. Until now. Quite big. Yes, quite big. Won't be long. I like my camping to be as simple as possible, and this tent is brilliant at being simple. Watch this. This is the cool bit. That. Thump. Thump. It's pitched. My tent's pitched. I love it. This is an Oz tent, by the way. I didn't mention it. It's developed in Australia, and obviously their insects are smaller than ours because very, very fine. But this is what I think is fantastic. Watch this. This is an awning. Nothing particularly special about an awning. But you see, this is what I'm talking about. The people who develop this use their brains. If I want to now roll this up, and I want to roll it up on my own, it's got a thin strand of plastic in here, and I can roll it up on my own. I don't have to ask somebody to help me roll it up. Somebody actually thought of it and did it. Look at this, there's more. Look at this. The guy ropes are orange so you don't trip over them at night, and they've got a little pocket so they don't get lost. Decent zips. It's just brilliant. Well thought out, well made, and darn well near perfect. Well, this is Ponta. 3.5 hours drive, fantastic drive, quite sandy, quite rough in places, very remote. We felt as if we were just heading into nowhere, partly because we didn't really know what to expect when we got here. This area is called Santa Maria. It's about as far as a car can take you to the gap. The gap is that area where the water rushes in and rushes out and floods the Bay of Maputo. And the gap, the other side of the gap, is Inyaka Island. So tomorrow what we're going to do is we're going to go and see the gap. I'm still not quite sure what it's going to look like. We'll be taking a boat and going out and having a look and trying our luck at some fishing. You might be wondering what we're doing now. Well, John had an idea that we might be able to find some large succulent crabs out in the mangroves. So we're off to find crabs. We didn't find any crabs, but what we did find was an illegal gill net. These indiscriminate killers are a problem all over Africa, and it is probably one of the reasons why these mangroves are devoid of crabs. The following morning, we're back on a boat, this time to take us to the Gap.
Going to the Gap. Winds come up quite badly actually, northwesterly, about 15 knots, quite a hard wind. Hope it's not going to spoil the fishing. Okay, this is this narrow stretch of land they call the Gap. They also call it Hell's Gate, because when the water comes in and out, it really moves, and we can actually see it now. The tide is actually turning now. This is the calm part of the day, and I can still see the rip as the water's churned up, as the water is rushing out to the sea as the last bit of the tide leaves the bay. I think we're going to be dropped off here and maybe throw in a few lines right into the Gap. Our guide has said to us that the key is to wait for the turn in the tide, because that's the moment where the water in the Gap is almost stationary, that cusp between high and low tide. And apparently the game fish rush towards our fishing lures, and we take them home and eat them. That's the normal daily procedure in this area.
Not a half hour later, our boat driver Thomas suggested it was back on the boat to try some trolling.
Everyone's got a cell phone, yeah.
It's a long time since we've been fishing from a boat, but these rods are actually long shore rods, so they're not exactly right for a boat, but the fish will taste the same. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. They call it fishing, not catching. Well, after a fantastic day's fishing, we're now going to prepare our meal, which is some lovely beef. And we're going to cook it on a Cobb cooker. Now, John is a bit of an expert, not only cooking, but I understand with the Cobb cooker as well. Now, I understand that the beauty of the Cobb is its simplicity.
Absolutely, Andrew. All you have to do is spice your meat, get whatever you like. A bit of beef on here, some veggies around, your veggies, your potato, an onion, put it in, close the lid and go fishing.
Okay, so what we're doing, we've got peeled onions, butternut, washed potatoes. We're doing nothing else, we're just putting them...
Put them in.
Okay, this is like a mini Weber. So in other words, you put it in, walk away.
Well, this one you don't need any attention. It's going to be a slow cooking. You just put it in and off you go.
How long do you reckon? Try with the fish tomorrow night.
On Inyaka Island itself, at the cusp between low and high tide, the snorkeling is rated as some of the best in all of southern Africa.
Got in the water and the fish are surrounding me. Lots and lots of little... There you are, look at them. Amazing. It's a vertical wall of coral.
This spot is part of Inyaka's marine sanctuary. It demonstrates just what the ocean would be like if left untouched by man.
That's a shock.
What's that coming towards?
Huh? What do you think it was?
big. That's why I never get in the water.
If the shark takes you now, this tape's mine.
Okay,
Count.
you can have it.
Yeah, it's not going to be any concern to you.
Not going to be any worried
Yeah,
at me at all.
yeah. Apparently they only got Betamax in hell.